Introduction. My name is Casey. I am 20 years old. I study at a big college in the city. My life was good and simple then. I liked my classes. I had friends. I felt happy and free. I lived in a small room near college. My parents lived in another town. This is my story about a big change in my life. It is also about a lesson I learned later. My normal college life was happy. I was a happy student. One afternoon, something new happened. I was in a coffee shop near college. I was reading a book. A man came to my table. He asked if the seat was free. He was older, maybe 30 years old. He was handsome and had a nice smile. His name was Tony. He said he worked nearby. We talked for a long time. Tony was funny and interesting. He listened to me. I felt a special connection right away. It felt like something from a movie. Tony asked for my phone number. He called me the next day. We started to meet often, almost every day. We went for walks. We went to nice restaurants for dinner. He often bought me small gifts. He always paid for everything. He made me feel very special, like a princess. He said he was busy with his job. He did not talk about his family or where he lived. I told my friend Maria about him. She said, "He sounds perfect, Casey." I liked him very quickly and strongly. He told me he liked me very much too. We became very close. He visited me at my room sometimes. We spent wonderful evenings together. For about 2 months, my life felt like a wonderful dream. I was very happy, and I was very much in love with Tony. This was the good start before everything changed. 2 happy days. Tony asked for my phone number the first day we met. The next day, my phone rang, and it was him. Hearing his voice made me smile. Soon, we started to spend a lot of time together. We went on many dates. We walked in the big park near the college when the weather was nice. We went to different restaurants for dinner. He always insisted on paying. He often surprised me with small gifts, like a pretty flower or a book he thought I would like. These things were not expensive, but they made me feel very special and cared for. He made me feel like I was the most important person in the world, like a princess from a story. This feeling was wonderful and new for me. Tony always seemed quite busy with his work. He did not talk much about his family or where he lived. I thought maybe he liked to keep his private life separate. I did not ask him too many questions about these things. I was happy just to be with him and enjoy our time together. We had a lot of fun. We laughed together easily. He was always very kind and polite. He was a good listener when I talked about my college classes or my friends. He seemed truly interested in everything about me. I told my best friend, Maria, all about Tony. I told her how charming he was and how he treated me so well. I told her about the nice dates and the gifts. Maria listened and smiled. "He sounds perfect, Casey," she said to me. I agreed with her completely. He seemed like the perfect man. I started to fall in love with Tony very quickly. It was a strong feeling that grew fast. After only a few weeks, I knew I loved him. He also told me that he liked me very, very much. We became very close. He would often come to my small room near the college after his work. We spent many wonderful evenings together. We would just talk for hours or sometimes watch a movie together. For about 2 months, my life felt like a beautiful dream. Every day was happy because I knew I would see Tony or talk to him. I looked forward to our time together with a happy heart. I was deeply in love with him. I thought this was the start of a long and happy relationship. I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. Everything seemed perfect and bright. I did not see any signs of trouble. I was just enjoying the special time with Tony. We shared many happy moments, smiles, and quiet evenings. Being with him made my life feel exciting and full of joy. This was the happiest time. It felt like these happy days would last forever. 3. Not feeling well. After about 2 months, I started to feel different. It was a strange feeling that slowly grew. I felt very tired all the time. Not just a little tired, but so tired that I wanted to sleep even after sleeping for many hours. It did not matter how much rest I got, the tiredness stayed with me. Some mornings were the worst. I would wake up and feel sick in my stomach. Sometimes I felt like I wanted to throw up. I thought maybe I had eaten something bad the night before, or maybe it was just stress from college work. I tried to drink tea and rest, hoping the feeling would go away. I also noticed something else changing. My favorite pair of jeans started to feel tight. They were the jeans I wore often, and they always fit perfectly. Now, they felt uncomfortable around my waist. I looked at myself in the mirror. I did not look bigger, but the jeans did not lie. I thought to myself, maybe I am eating too much nice food now. I had been enjoying meals out, and I decided I should eat less. But then, something else happened that made me worry more. My period was late. At first, I did not think much about it. Sometimes it was a few days late, but this time it was different. 1 week passed and nothing. Then another week passed. Now it was 2 weeks late. This had never happened before. A small, quiet voice started in my head. It said, "Casey, this is not just stress. This is not just eating too much." A feeling of fear started to grow inside me. It was a cold, heavy feeling. I knew I needed to find out why I felt so strange. I decided I had to be sure. My hands felt a little shaky when I thought about it, but I knew what I had to do. I walked to a pharmacy near my college. I went inside and looked for the right place. I found a box. It was a pregnancy test. I picked it up and paid for it quickly. I felt nervous as I left the shop. I needed to go back to my room. I needed to take the test and know the truth. 4. The big surprise. I went back to my room. My small room felt different now. My hands were shaking a little. I took the pregnancy test out of the bag. I read the instructions again, very slowly. It seemed simple, but my head felt full of noise. I went to the bathroom in my room and used the test. Then I put it on the side and waited. Waiting was the hardest part. Every second felt like a minute. Every minute felt like an hour. I looked at the test again and again. Nothing. Was it broken? Was it working? My heart was beating very fast. I closed my eyes for a moment. When I opened them, I looked at the test one more time. There were 2 pink lines. 2 lines meant positive. I was pregnant. The test was right. My body felt cold. I couldn't breathe well. It was like all the air left the room. Pregnant? Me? How could this be real? I felt complete shock. My mind went in many directions at once. College, my classes, my friends, my plans for the future, all my dreams. What would happen to them now? How could I be a student and have a baby? Fear came over me like a dark cloud. I was so scared. What was I going to do? I was alone in my room, but I knew I was not really alone in this situation. Tony was part of this. He needed to know. We needed to talk. I had to tell him. It was the only thing I could think to do next. I knew it would be a difficult conversation, but I had to be brave. I picked up my phone. 5. Tony's bad news. After I saw the 2 lines, I knew I had to tell Tony. He was the father. We were together and we shared this. I thought we did. I called him. My hands were shaking a little. When he answered, I tried to sound normal. "Tony," I said, "we need to talk. It is very important. Can we meet?" He agreed. We decided to meet at the coffee shop where we first met, our usual place. It felt strange to go back there with this big news inside me. I was very nervous. My heart was beating fast. I sat down at a table and waited. Tony arrived a few minutes later. He smiled when he saw me, his usual warm smile. But I knew I was going to make that smile disappear. I looked at him. It was hard to start. "Tony," I said again, my voice quiet, I have something to tell you." I took a deep breath. "I am pregnant." His face changed immediately. It was like a light went out. The smile was gone. His eyes looked different, colder. He did not say anything for a moment. He just stared at me. The silence felt very long and heavy. I waited for him to say something, anything. Finally, he spoke. His voice was flat, not like his usual voice. "Are you sure?" he asked. "Yes," I whispered. "I took a test. It was positive." He looked away from me. He looked around the coffee shop, but he did not really see anything. Then he stood up. He did not look at me again. "I have to go," he said quickly. "I have a meeting." "Tony, wait," I said, maybe a little too loud. I felt panic start to rise inside me. He could not just leave, but he did not stop. He just turned and walked away from the table, towards the door. He left me sitting there, alone, with my coffee getting cold and the terrible news hanging in the air. I watched him go. I could not believe it was happening. My boyfriend, the man I loved, was walking away from me and our baby. I felt completely alone. Later, I tried to call him many times. He did not answer my phone calls. I sent him text messages. He did not reply, he just disappeared. It was like he was never there. My happy dream with Tony was finished. It turned into a bad, scary nightmare. 6, a terrible secret. Days went by, then weeks passed. I waited, but I did not hear from Tony. He did not call, he did not send messages. He was gone. I felt very sad. I cried a lot in my small room. I felt stupid. I felt like he used me. I felt betrayed because he just left me alone with big news. One day, I was with my best friend, Maria. We were looking at social media on her phone. Suddenly, Maria stopped. She made a sound like a gasp. "Casey," she said, "look at this." She showed me the screen. It was a picture. In the picture, there was Tony. He was smiling, but he was not alone. Next to him was a woman. She was pretty. And there were 2 small children with them, a boy and a girl. I looked at the words under the picture. It said, "Happy anniversary to my wonderful husband Tony and the best dad." The woman wrote it. My heart felt like it broke into many small pieces. It was like glass shattering. Tony was married. He had a wife. He had children. All the times he said he was busy with work, he was with his real family. He did not just leave me. He lied to me from the start. Everything was a lie. I felt so much shame. How could I not know? How could I be so foolish? I felt like I was just a game for him, a secret he kept from his real life. Now I was pregnant, and the father was a married man who lied to me and left. This was my terrible secret. I had to tell my parents, but I was so scared. They had dreams for me. College, a good future. I knew they would be angry. They would be disappointed. I could see their faces in my mind, looking sad or angry. I did not want to tell them. I tried to hide it. My stomach was starting to grow a little. I wore big, baggy clothes. I stopped doing video calls with my parents because I was afraid they would see something different about me. I felt very alone with this big secret inside me. It was heavy and dark. 7, my family knows. I had kept my secret for many weeks. It was heavy in my heart. I was scared. I was ashamed. I did not want to tell my parents, but I was starting to show. My clothes did not hide it well anymore, and my mom called me. She sounded worried on the phone. "Casey," she said, "you sound different. Are you okay? You don't visit us. You seem quiet." I knew I could not keep the secret anymore. The words came out. I started to cry big, loud sobs. "Mom," I managed to say between tears, "I have something very bad to tell you." I told her everything. I told her about meeting Tony at the coffee shop. I told her how he was kind and charming, how I thought he was a good man. I told her we spent 2 wonderful months together. I told her I fell in love with him. Then I told her about feeling sick, about my body changing, about taking the test in my room. "Mom," I said again, crying more, "I am pregnant." I told her how I told Tony, how his face changed, how he left me alone in the coffee shop, how he stopped answering my phone calls and messages. Then I told her the terrible truth I learned later. I told her my friend Maria showed me a picture. I told her Tony was married. He had a wife and 2 children. He lied to me from the first day. My voice shook as I said it. There was a long, quiet time on the phone. I could hear my mom breathing. Then she spoke. Her voice was not quiet. It was full of shock and then anger. "Casey, how could you?" she asked. She told my dad. I could hear his voice in the background. He was shouting. He was furious. They were angry at Tony. They called him bad names. But they were also very angry with me. My dad took the phone. His voice was loud and hard. "Casey," he said, "we are so disappointed in you. How could you be so foolish?" Those words hurt me more than anything else. Disappointed, foolish. I felt terrible. I felt like I had failed them completely. For a few days, talking to them was hard. The air felt thick with anger and sadness. I felt very alone, even when we spoke. But then my mom called me again. This time her voice was softer. It was not angry. "Casey," she said gently, "we are still very upset, and we are very worried about you and the baby. This is a very difficult situation." She paused. "But you are our daughter," she said. "We love you. We will not leave you alone. We will help you." She said, "We will figure this out together as a family." A little weight lifted from my shoulders. They were still upset, yes, but they chose me. They chose to help. It was a small piece of hope in the darkness. 8. A new friend. In one of my college classes, there was a quiet guy named Hank. He did not talk much, but he was always kind. He helped people if they needed it. I did not know Hank well. My life was difficult. I was sad a lot and felt tired. I wore big clothes. Hank sat near me in class. I think he saw I was not happy. He saw that I looked sad. Maybe he saw my body changing a little. Sometimes he looked at me with a worried face. He did not say anything for a long time. One day after class, I was packing my bag. Hank came to my desk. "Casey," he asked quietly, "can I talk to you?" We went into the hallway. Hank looked down. "I know this is not my business," he said nervously, "but I see you are having a hard time." I just nodded. My eyes felt wet. Hank looked at me. "Casey," he said, "I have liked you for a long time, since this class started." I was very surprised. He continued, I know you are pregnant." My eyes were wide. "And I know the father is not here," Hank said. Tears came to my eyes. "I just want you to know," Hank said, "you are not alone. If you need help with anything, with the baby." He looked at me again, his face serious. "I want to help you. I will help you. I mean it. I want to support you and help with the baby." I could not speak for a moment. Tony left me. My parents were angry at first, but Hank, this quiet guy, was offering help. He did not ask for anything. He just offered kindness. "Hank," I said softly, "that is so kind. Thank you. Thank you very much." It was a big surprise. After feeling so much fear and sadness, Hank's words were like a small light. They gave me a little hope for the future. I learned that help can come from unexpected people. This was an important lesson. This quiet guy, Hank, became a new friend exactly when I needed one.